Hey friends, welcome back to another video. Can't believe it, I was getting pretty nervous at one stage. We're still not totally out of the woods yet, but to see the 74 is just such a much, it's just a lot better than seeing back in the 40s. I mean, I really was a little bit nervous, and I was like, oh no. It was purely just trying to 3-bet too light. I overdid it, and the problem was I was c-betting, and then I was wasting $1 here, $1 there, 75 cents. When you're playing, it's not a big deal, but when you're playing over the course of like 13 tables, it adds up. And that's when we lost about we were losing 20 or so a session, but now we've tied it up. Now we've actually starting to go the right direction. Didn't slow down the tables, just adjusted properly. So the main trick is don't 3-bet lightly. Even if you're in position, don't 3-bet lightly. These guys don't fold enough, right? And also, especially when you're getting stacks all in, you can actually adjust. So, one thing I was doing wrong before was my ace kings. So I wasn't getting my ace kings all in, and now it's pretty much every session I get an ace king in all in. You just really got to decide on your opponent and make sure you pick your opponents that are a little bit wider, or the spots. Sometimes there's a little bit of a few nasty spots there, but I mean, like the spots like they're stealing spots, so they're going to be bluffing or not. People from the cutoff typically will probably open a little bit wider than say someone under the gun. So then you can start putting pressure on with even ace king, even uh, and then I found a nasty spot as well. Let's say the button opens up and then you 3-bet, and then your opponent 4-bets from the big blind. Typically, a lot of people will 3-bet with like ace king, ace queen. So what are they really 4-betting with? It's gonna be such a tight range. So you just gotta have a bit of common sense there. And I was testing a few things out, and that's when I was getting things in wrong. Just finding things out the hard way. When you're in a blind battle, typically people in the big blind will go for big bluffs. Same as the small blind as well, but it's really player dependent. You got to really work out: are these guys solid players, or are they just maniacs willing to just fire away? And it wasn't that long ago I fired a 3-barrel bluff. It all obviously failed. We learnt that people with an ace and connected an ace on the flop are more unlikely to let go of the flop, unless of course someone's very nitty or not. Probably passive, and you can really probably start attacking them. But the major adjustment that's been working for us too, is just going from in position, opening up, making sure we're the first ones to open up most times, and don't 3-bet light, 3-bet heavy. So 3-bet with value. And also, depending how wide your 3-bet is, depending how if they're a fish or just a bad player. The worse of the player you can isolate, and just because if you limp behind, or let's say they offer 3 big blinds and you call 3 big blinds, that's when one of the small blinds, big blinds will come in with a squeeze, and it gets really ugly. And let's say the person that was first stacked originally, the one that fired in, re-raises the guy from the big blinds, and then you're in the middle deciding what am I going to do with King Jack suited, or something, or King 5 suited, or something stupid. So that's the reason why you don't do it lightly anyway. So, but it's really good. Just trying to, we're learning some hard truths and just trying to learn things the hard way. Trying to stay, trying to stay focused, trying to work things out. Just setting up the tables at the moment while I talk on things. Let me know how you guys are going, what levels you're playing at. If you haven't already, please subscribe and stuff, and like the videos. I know some of you guys probably won't like the fast videos, but it's very important, like the so many tables that we're playing. But it's so important that we do this, especially in the micros, especially 2NL, because the rakeback is not great, and this way we can actually get, now that we got 50% rakeback, we can definitely start accumulating just a lot more. We've got a 3-bet here with queens. And then when I'm taking shots as well, like when I'm moving up in there, like when I go back to 5NL, 10NL and all that stuff, hopefully I get to that. We will be probably playing just 4 tables to begin with until we have Okay, so this guy could have heaps of things. He's got a 5% 3-bet, right? I just don't know. I have no idea. I'm just going to call, but I have no idea what he's going to do. All right, so you just ace jack and top pair, top kicker, and that's just got to remember that we're playing at the micros, and these guys will jam any two a lot of the times. So you've just got to be aware. And I think I didn't call last. There was the last time I had pocket queens. I didn't call an all in, and maybe I had the best hands as well. Sometimes you just got to think, these stats don't mean half the things. Like, just because they play down 22, 23% of hands doesn't mean they're good. It just means that they've actually probably set their levels so on to this. So this is what I'm playing at. So anything from the cutoff to the under the gun is typically getting folded in the black, and I'm playing. Which a lot of people will say, "Oh, you're playing too tight." Well, there's a reason, because our opponents don't fold. We don't want them to fold. So the whole reason you keep getting told this, right? In the micros, you bet for value. You don't bet the bluff. If you bet the bluff, you're going to be very poor, and you're just going to be stuck in the rebuying in all the time. So just try and not bluff too much. Control yourself. We're going to play 9 of these blue tables, like we did the last couple of times, and yeah, playing the 4 Russian cash games as well, which is nice. I don't mind those ones as well. But yeah, we're still going to be defending a little bit loosely in the blinds, but we've got to be a little bit careful as well. Okay, I need to make sure we're going to open up the rest of the tables. But yeah, we've got 40 now, 45 behind us, but we've got all the tables open, which is now normal. Opening up, everyone. So yeah, wish me luck. Hopefully you go well. I haven't been talking as much and showing my face as much, especially when I've been trying to concentrate a bit more. I have a bit of a coffee now. We've had a couple of sessions today, so feeling a little bit more tired. I'm going to fold here actually out of position. So this is a big adjustment. Once I'm really tired, like once I get tired, what's going to happen is those bad, nasty things I used to do before will start appearing, because some of the things that you used to that you've just freshly learned, or you get under control, will actually come back in. And it means you haven't mastered it. So hopefully we do master it, and then we can do this half asleep, and we will be still fine making, we'll be still accumulating. So hopefully that, and you can accumulate as many chips as possible, or get as much for the rakeback as possible. We got 2 pair here. There is 8-6 on the board, but we're not going to care. Could probably flat 10-8, but we're not going to. With the ace type hand, when you got top pair and a weak kicker, just check behind, because you'll see in the last video if you watch. You just need to check behind. You got showdown value. You don't need to bet people off a hand when you've already got them beat. You're only going to put yourself in a bad spot when you are beat yourself. So you need to make sure it's fine to check. Don't think checking is weak. It's not. Okay, so and there's going to be spots where your opponents think you checking is weak, and you should be able to, you catch a bluff. You'll see a couple of hands last video where I was bluff catching for a lot of parts. So like I'll have top pair, top kicker, especially with ace queen, and I was just checking behind. I was checking first out of position, and then they'd bet and I'd call, because I knew I had a strong hand. If I bet, I just didn't want to get raised on, and I wanted to get the pot to a certain level. So going for pot control with the top pair, top kick is fine. You just need to be aware that you need to get off the hand when you can. Just don't make it too expensive. But at the same time, just keep the pots low. And if your opponents... And that's another thing too, is when I was free betting, I was essentially making every pot big. Even when I wasn't strong. And what you find is, if you just keep checking a lot of the times, these opponents aren't betting big. Some of them are now, obviously, but they don't typically bet too big. And when you're in position, it works excellent. You get like free cards, and you get your draws, and then it feels like to your opponents that a couple of things happen. Is A, they think you're a weak player because you fold too many times, but it's not. You're just picking the right moment. So I've got an open ender with the other one. So a lot of people will try and bluff you on a hand, and you're very strong, and that's when they think you just checking behind, checking, and then they'll see when you're folding a hand, they think, oh, you bloody, you know, you're weak player, you've got nothing. But that's not it. You just pick your right times, pick your moments. Position's your secret weapon. Unfortunately, we missed everything, but now we didn't put anything in the pot. Look, 12 cents. Just fold. Who cares? You're gonna make things. You're gonna make mistakes, but just gotta learn from them. We've definitely we've been confident, and then we've had our ass handed to us as well at the same time, and it's just not great. You just got to take it as it comes. Don't take it personal. There's a lot of things we're doing right. There's a lot of things we're still probably doing wrong. Okay, so we've got a set, we've got a raise. But yeah, there's a lot of things we're doing wrong. So you just got to try and concentrate on one or two things at a time. Don't concentrate on your whole game. Just try and knock out one leg at a time and go from there. And that's how you learn. Okay, so he's doing this. Okay, I'm going to raise, but he could have a bigger set. Not sure what he's doing. Okay, he's just folded. That's fine. We try to but the thing is, you don't need to don't be too afraid, because the thing is, if you don't go for thin value, there is a couple leaks, and that's not going for thin value. When you think your opponent's got a marginal hand, but you don't have a really strong hand, but you don't want to, you're afraid. Let's say you've got a set and the flush just comes out. Your opponent's not always going to have a flush. They're going to have two pairs and they're going to pay you off. You just need to have. You just got to get used to the spots where you can do marginal hands. So yeah, queen's there, a bit scary, but we're trying to get the straight actually, but we're trying to quietly go about it. We could still have the best hand, but we didn't raise because we could get put off our hand. Eights could be still the best hand there. 2 10s on the board means less likely he's going to have a 10, but if he does have a 10, it doesn't really matter, because you know why? It's because we didn't actually put anything else in the pot. That's all the river, and then all until he did on the river. So we're paying the minimum to be wrong, and that's fine. And sometimes he'll be trying to bluff us, and we're right there most of the time. Okay, so we got ace 10, hit top pair. A lot of times we're just going to bet here. Got a backdoor flush draw. So sometimes if you're worried about the board, you can bet it, try and defend your hand. But when you've got a marginal hand and you don't know where you're at, just check behind. And if you have to fold, make sure you don't fold for much. We've got a pair still, but we don't know where we're at. We've got to check there. If you throw a bet in, there's often the time there'll be they'll have that paired hand. Not a great hand now with that two pair, but two pairs typically not strong when it comes to a flush type draw or a straightish type board as well. 3 for 3 with a call. I got fours. Still waiting for that diamond for the kings. Hit a flush. Probably could a little bit. Probably could have bet there, but we didn't. A bit of thin value there, but we decided not to go there. Gonna fold the king with a diamond. Unfortunately, didn't get there. See, we didn't put too much. We didn't full bet with the ace king. Sometimes, they're going to fold pre-flop. Sometimes they're not. And sometimes you're going to be calling all in when they do an all-in shove. And a lot of times, they're going to have aces on you, or, they'll have the best hand. And you'll probably be flipping. And that's fine, flipping most times. But when you're playing against someone a little bit tighter, it's not really worth it. All right, so we got mid pair there. Just check behind. 3-bet, make sure you fold. Just don't, when you're out of position, or, when they got a really tight range, just get out the way. There's not really worth, building a pot up. Once the pot's huge, you get to have really bad pot odds. And you need, you stack the pot ratio to be quite low compared, so you can actually quite high, sorry. You need a lot of stacks compared to the pot. So you can actually go in for, for those flushes, for those straights. There's absolutely no point building a pot pre-flop, especially with the, it's just very scary. And you're just going to be costing yourself a lot of money. You're going to be folding a lot. Like, pay close attention to the hand, to the videos that I posted where I said, oh, I don't want this session. It's terrible. I don't remember it. Have a look. Have a look at all the hands that I folded, and I missed the hands. Like I missed my flush. I missed my straight. And I put like 70 cents in. Like, it just adds up. Totally adds up. King Queen's not that great. It's going to get dominated a lot of the time. Look at that, 5%. I have to fold there. I don't probably have to fold there, but I'm out of position. And you know what? If I'm right, it's good. But if I'm wrong, it's going to hurt. 17, so we can 3-bet here with ace queen. So we're making we're playing changes, like changing our play towards our opponent. But yeah, we just need to stay the course. Just try and remember what we've learnt along the way, and just don't open the door. So I've just got to realize that when I'm starting to get tired, I'm going to play really badly. And there's been some long sessions where I'm just staring at the screen, and you'll see that I'm just playing really badly, and it's just not worth it. So is he really got the 10? It doesn't really matter at this stage. We're just going to call anyway. It's a bluff catcher. 2 cents. We're going to call. Ace Jack. Going to fold there. It's not a big pot. Jacks are holding up. See, we didn't have to fold there with the jacks. We just have to check behind, get to the showdown. Sometimes we'll be good there. Sometimes they got low pocket pair and they're just as scared as we are. But they're even worse than us. They could have pocket 2s, pocket 3s, pocket 4s. That haven't hit a set, obviously. 2 diamonds, we call behind. Don't raise it too much. You can raise it. But what happens is they can fold a lot of bad hands and they'll keep all their good hands. Now we've made the hand. And now we can get stacks in on the river. Just make sure your stacks are high enough, or the pot's high enough that you can actually, target, try and get stacks in on the river. So, we're going to do this. We're going to put 46 in. And then he has to call his stack. And it's not that bad of a call. It doesn't look that nasty. Sometimes you could have ace side of diamonds. Like, you could have the nut flush, but who cares? A lot of times he's going to call behind with top pair. 2 pairs, trips. I've done that. And, all right, got to raise there with the ace king. Still going for the steals though. That's another thing. I haven't adjusted the stealing, especially going for the 4. Yeah, so that's another thing too from the big blind, small blind situation. You've only got one person to beat, so you can still keep quite open for that. Still going for the gut shot. Key to 4. Yeah, I'm going to fold here. He could be bluffing a lot of times, but he could also just have a king. All right, got aces. There we go. Just need to make sure when you play, just times it by 7 to make sure you got enough in the pot. Like, just make sure your opponent's got enough of stack sizes as well. Make sure you've got at least 7 times the amount of the bet they're doing. And then we just fall out if we miss the 6s. That's perfectly fine. Go through. Get a bet there. Check behind. Probably could have actually done a bluff, but it gets expensive. And, these guys don't bluff enough most of the times. I mean, once you're higher up in the ratings, like, 10 and L, 20 and L, start your check, do your check raising, find those spots where people fold. I'm not saying it's not going to work up in the higher levels. I'm just saying down in 2 and L, it's not going to work. I've done a lot of fancy plays. We're going to call here. A good player could be challenging us with an 8, but sometimes we just call behind here with jacks. If we hit a jack and he's got aces and kings, he'll stack off and it should be pretty good. Should be an easy play. Try and always make sure. So always think when you're making a play, try and go the easiest way. So when you get a hard decision in your hands, sometimes it means that maybe you've played the hand wrong. So try and work out. Sometimes it's not You know, maybe you've called too wide or something like that, or you've done the wrong bet sizing. Okay, so ace queen should be good. See, the three's gone pretty far trying to get that extra card. All right, so this guy could easily have queens, kings, and aces. I'm just gonna let it go. We did give ourselves a good chance to hit a set. Just gonna check behind here. Can't fold 3 cents. So you gotta really pay attention to the stack sizes as well to the pot. Something I still have to improve on a bit to work on. Yeah, are we ever folding? I'm probably just going to shove him on the river, and ace queen actually was good there, which was good. All right, nines are gone. Trying to spike a queen on the river. Just gonna jam him on the river. We could actually be dead there, but who cares? We gotta see. Got a lot of bad hands there. Call behind, he just folds. We could have probably slow played as well and just checked, but what one person did say, and it's often the case, is a tight. Well, he probably wasn't such a tight player, but in a lot of cases, especially against the regs, you don't want to, check to them because they'll just check behind. If you'll see that's what I do when I'm worried about the hand. I just check behind. I know I've got a strong hand and win at least over half the time, but if I raise and then he re-raises, I'm in a tough spot. So there's probably no point. Sometimes I've been raising with ace, just with any ace in the small blind on the blue tables. So being a bit tighter on the blue tables in the stealing situation, but in the zoom, I'm a bit in the Russian cash games, I'm a little bit crazier. It seems to be working well because in the zoom type poker, people just pre-fold way too many times. Like when I first started playing, when I first found the tables, I was folding way too many times. I'm going to call one here. We could spike a queen. That should be fine. This guy's 67%, only 3 hands. I'm going to fold. So I had a look. He was 67%, but in 3 hands, it's not enough to call. If we had the clubs, I'd probably call, but I don't. So we just get out of the way with those king. We gave ourselves the best chance. So kings just finding a way to hurt us a little bit there with the ace on the board, but not everyone has an ace, just because the ace comes up. It just really hurts us. We can't really feel free to, to block or to bet for value. And you got to be very careful too, because your opponents will be playing the ace very quietly as well, especially at a weak ace. So then you think they're weak, but they're actually stronger than your hand. So you need to make sure you've got a stronger hand than them. When you throw a bet in the river thinking that they're weak, then you just need to just realize you're not value betting yourself, because that's the worst thing you can do is value bet yourself. Yeah, they don't know. Like most of these players wouldn't know thin value and all that jazz. So sometimes what you're doing is you're just helping them. You could easily have a jack. I'm going to fold because the other guy there, that guy will probably call him anyway. We'll keep him honest. We're not here to keep honest. We're just here to do the hands, make a bit of profit, move on. Make the best decision. We're not here to keep them honest. They can bluff all they want because eventually they'll run into one of our monster hands, get them in a false sense of security. So that's the whole idea. Cutoff still typically pretty tight actually. So cutoff I could probably still open up a little bit stronger. Alright, so going to open ender, I'm going to call. Still only cheap price, and then when we do make a hand, we can bet it. Get a call behind. The ace could be good there if he's got like a king jack type hand there. He's just whiffed. We still have the best hand a lot of the times, because his hand, he might be really tight and he doesn't have a good hand himself. Yeah, nothing beats a coffee. Yeah, make sure you bet a little bit bigger as well. So just don't give them a cheap price. Charge them, because that's where you make your money from, is charging your opponents to get their draws, to get that flush on you, get that straight on you. And you just got to use your experience, get the experience up to try and estimate yourself and try and remember. Because your brain will remember, if you play enough, your brain will remember certain particular spots where they're going to have a good hand, they're going to have a bad hand. Yeah, the pot was cheap though. I'm not going to call a pot size bet. There's just no point. And you could be wrong, you could be right there, but we'll have the another time we'll have a king there, we can call them down. There's just better hands there to catch, or to catch with, so to speak. Oh, we'll get two spades there. Just check behind. If we bet there and he raises us big, we're doing him a favour. Now we've missed. Pot's still cheap. We didn't lose anything. So get the best of both worlds. 7 could be good here. We'll check it. Alright, we close the action with Jack 9. Just to see what happens there, just to see a flop. You could probably argue, I probably should have just folded Jack 9 suited there, and you go, what? You're crazy. You've got... But the problem is it gets expensive post flop, and then you end up having to, out of position, a lot of flops, you end up... Yeah, so we bet here because there's two spades. We want to defend the hand. So, yeah, you just want to make sure you're not putting money in to fold later on. So we hit 2 pair with a6, which is fine. And now this is what I was talking about. And now we're forced to fold. If we don't fold, it starts getting more expensive. And that's why you don't 3-bet. You keep the price low. And then, yeah, just go from there. And then you keep in control of the size of the pot. Your opponents will have been none of the wiser. And then you go from there. Unfortunately, Ace King didn't hit. You could throw a bluff in there, but sometimes if you've got the Ace King, they definitely got, they've probably got the Queen, knowing that you cancel out a lot of their aces and kings having the Ace King. And this is a type of hand where, how did our opponent play it? We played it quite weak. It's a bluff catcher. That's all it is. We could be right there some of the times. Could be wrong there. We were wrong that time. We could probably fold it sometimes. But a lot of times there, opponents will bluff. Probably not a good example because I lost that hand, but, sometimes they do bluff that spot. Some people think the bigger the bet, the more likely to bluff. But it's probably play dependent as well. Because you know that some people like to bet small when they're bluffing, and they're just scared. Yeah, we could have probably got away with that other hand, but... And then that means he wouldn't have got his odds. I gotta check behind. Probably with that ace king, because there's a spade on the board, we could probably pay it. Gonna pay it, we'll get the 10 and the top pair there. But like I said, it's starting to get expensive. I'm gonna call one, see if there's a spade, and then we might be able to shove the turn, but even still, probably could have folded. Probably gonna regret it. I'm gonna fold that one. Get a check here, actually. And see what he does. Just to see where we're at with the hand. Got aces. I'm just gonna throw a half bet in. I missed the hand. That's alright. But we should be fine there most of the time. He probably just folded, worrying about the ace. That's fine. So like if we didn't fold that hand, but you could probably argue to fold the hand on the flop. Sometimes you got to get that hand, sometimes you're not. Now we've got sevens in position. Need the board to pair up though. It depends on the player as well. Hopefully the guy keeps hitting us. Ace queen. All right, so he's going nuts. We're gonna just shove all in. He just folded, and that's fine as well. Got a double gutter, I think, with that ace queen. So we're not going anywhere with that one. Missed everything. If you're paying attention, we had with the ace of spades there, but we could have probably run a bluff, but not the micros. But at the further up, when you're playing at 20 NL or 10 NL plus, you could probably run that bluff because you've got you got a blocker to the nuttish top hands. So that means some certain players will fold if they don't have the nuts. Just fold out the way. There's no point being in a hand where you got low chance of winning. Maybe should have bet there with the queens. I think I'm calling here, but I'm not going to be happy about it. Okay, so he's bluffing that time. And all it took was the check there on the turn, and he thought we were weak. And he changed his, we were checking there. And on the river, we'll check calling. So that was a good example. Sometimes you got to be right. Sometimes you got to be wrong. And people always, they put too much. Just because someone's winning chips, they've got chips in front of them, means that they're better than the other person. That's not the case at all. All right, going to throw a half bet here, trying to get some value for the trips. If he raises us, we're probably folding it. Queen 9, just letting go. All right, just going to check behind. Got second pair. Just don't want to be raised on. We now got an open ender. So we've got a bit more equity in the hand, which is nice. So we've got a bit more play. Just going to check behind. We don't need to do anything crazy. We've got third pair. So if he's got under pair, we definitely got a really good hand there. But if he's got under pair, but obviously if he doesn't, and he's often going to have a king there, we're not going to throw a bet in. You just got to remember, don't throw bets in when you're behind. Throw those bets in when you're in front. And he's just trying to get us to probably throw a bet in. We will when we're in front, but when we're behind, we're happy to get out of the way. And often when they think that we're just weak, they're going to bet into us and they're going to run into us, and we're going to tell them, or not tell them, our cards are going to tell them that they're wrong. C9's made it to the showdown. Could be the best hand. Didn't need to do anything crazy. We start betting and bluffing. We get put off hands midway through the hand. We don't get to see the river. Sometimes they're going to get the best hand on you. They're going to get two pair on the flop, by the river. But it's going to happen sometimes. But you just got to make sure you're making the best play, not the worst play. And the plays always vary anyway. All right, so we got trips. So we've got a bit now. Well, I'm playing under the gun, against under the gun. You might have an ace queen or something like that. Could have argued the call with the ace of spades there with the two spades on the board, but it can get quite expensive, and it's really hard to get a runner spade. Although last session I did have a perfect ace jack hand, ace jack suited type hand, where I raised pre-flop, got the two spades in, shoved, and hit the spade. So it was really nice and got stacks in that way. But you just don't typically get runner or stuff like that often enough. It's a tough spot. We got to fold. Check behind. We don't need the bet, and just fold there. There you go. Oh yeah, we can go for a 4 as well. So we might essentially any ace, any king could be good there, but any 4 as well. So we'll call. This guy's got 17 hands. Plays quite wild. I'm going to call. Actually, I'm going to fold. And there you go. Now we can probably bet here. We're just going to shove it and just, if he's got a 6, so be it. We're going to be crying. Just on the river. It's probably silly shoving there because he's only going to shove up. He's only going to call that shove with the better hand, like with the 6. You never know. Maybe he does it with a set and he's just stuck. Because some people get tilted and they don't want to leave the hand. So that's always the case as well. I got a bet here, Queen 10. Get a set. Got to bet this one. 9's going to try and hold. Just got to check there with Ace Queen. It should be able to hold on its own without forcing people to fold. Just got to check behind. We could probably. It's not a great hand, is it? But it's still there. Okay, bets 4 cents. It's not a strong bet, so Ace Queen could be good there. Gets a runner. I'm going to fold. But he could be bluffing there a lot too. But we didn't actually put much in there anyway, so that's fine. So yeah, Jack 10-9 on the board. I'm just letting go of that hand. It'd be pretty sick if you call and he's got like Ace King. It does happen. It has happened before. But a lot of people probably at the 2-0, probably quite not as good. But there is the occasion, like what I did find is what I have found in the micros as well, because there's a lot of Asian countries, a lot of good players in the micros here. A couple of US dollars is worth a bit for them. So, they're playing very serious in the micros. So it just makes the micros even harder. And I don't mean that in disrespect. I mean that in for respect. I mean, they've just made it so much harder. And then obviously you've got people who still gamble, and I still remember the days where a lot of the Americans would be playing. It's just they weren't really good. They thought they were good. They were very loud on Poker Stars back in the day. I'm pretty brave to call there actually, but I'm not. But that's the thing. Like with the American players, there's a lot of American players. There's a lot of really good players. Like I don't know. Whenever I think of professional players, I always think the American players. Like you've got Phil Ivey, obviously. Tom Dwan, he was amazing. I think he was American as well. Yeah, had so many American players that were huge professional. They just seem to be near the top. Always, whatever field wherever they play, they seem to always rate pretty good on a world stage. We've hit a queen, just calling here. Hopefully get a 10 on the river. But you never know, he might have ace queen, getting a 10 on the river. It could be the worst card for us. Calling behind was 5s. I'm going to call here, but I just don't know what he's actually calling with. Yeah. Is it too tight to fold? I probably could have folded. It's because he's that type of player. Okay. Just got to find that player again. There's too many people in this hand. It's terrible. Yeah, I'm just going to jam the turn. King, queen, probably no good there. Just going to call there with the other hand, though. Yeah, just going to call. If he's got a set, he's got a set. A lot of times he won't. We got a jack of hearts. If someone shoves over the top, we have to get out of the way. Probably could have folded. Maybe the jack of hearts. Okay, he gets the river, but we cashed out. And that's the reason why we cash out. King, queen gets no help. Fives gets another card. We could raise there with tens. Let's try and build the pot on them. Fives are gone. We're going to shove in because this guy is a bit of a loose arm. He's on the loosish type. He might call with an ace something. So, yeah. So he's got ace something. And we've got the best hand going in pre-flop, which is nice. Yeah, ace king. So, perfect. I just got to remember, ace king's is a strong hand, the strongest unpaired hand. It's dead board, so we'll see bet. We don't always see bet ace king, but on a board that doesn't look like it helps anyone, we'll definitely bet there and bet for value. We're not betting there for bluffing. We're betting there because we think our hand's better than our opponents. Because if they've got like king queen, king jack type hands, we actually got a better hand, and the board's not scary, and they'll likely to call behind. And then if we do hit the king and they've got a weaker king, we can often get stacks in. All right. I'm going to call. No, I actually going to fold. We could probably have called there, but chose not to. Going to call here, though, with the twos because there's a king on the board. Whenever there's a king or an ace on the board and we're trying to chase a set, more likely to chase it if the bet's low. And because they're going to get sticky a lot of the times as well. Going to raise there. He seems to be a bit loosish. Alright, pocket twos are gone. Checking behind with ace king, trying to get a free card. That's fine, just check behind. We could probably throw a bet in as well. This is cheap enough to call. I'm not really... Jacks are a good hand, but if I bet and he raises me, I just don't know where he's at. Just checking behind. Could have the best hand there a lot. Yeah, hit the 5 there. That's fine, but we had the jack there. Didn't need to bet anywhere. Don't need to bet someone off a hand that's you're beating him to. It's just that if you bet there and they raise you, you just get yourself in a tough spot. Where I'm happy to check call, especially with a strong hand like that. I've still got open ender here. I'm gonna call. It's cheap enough, 3 cents. They just don't know. Oh, there you go. And then we just bet. We got it straight. Just bet it. If we get re-raised, we'll have to ask a question to see what's the likelihood of him having a flush or a full house. Just check the dangers. Double check the opponent as well. Just double check the opponent. I don't think he's going to be good here a lot of the times. See, just didn't think he'd be good there. Just trying to bluff us off a hand, and that's fine. So you just need to really make sure that try and size up your opponent. See if they're going to be bluffing you, or are they really going to be raising you? Do they know their hands? Alright, I'm going to call behind here. If I raise and someone shoves, it's going to be a really hard spot. I'll probably have to fold, so I'm just going to check behind, treat it like a... It's what you can do with a lot of medium pocket pairs. A lot of people have a problem playing pocket pairs. And then this guy shoves, this guy shoves. So I've got to think 20% our hands. Going to be wrong here some of the times. Got to actually fold it. I'll be happy about it, but we're going to fold. Alright, so we would have had the best hand, but... Alright, so we should have probably called that one, but we didn't have enough information, so we'll back that up. But pocket queens is still a premium hand. Yeah, but unfortunately it rubbed... He'd actually put a queen on the flop as well, just to annoy us as well. We should have backed it up. We should have put it in, but hindsight's an important thing, isn't it? Ooh. It's easy to say. It's easy to make the decision once you know the cards are coming out. And we only had a couple of hands in from them. Wasn't that long ago it felt like everyone going in, with only with aces and kings, and now people are shoving everything at the moment. So I don't know what's going on at the moment. So it's actually a really good change. All right, nines. We're just going to call behind. Out of position with nines. Sometimes we can raise there as well, because if you build the pot and you actually get the card, then the pot's already big. Nines could be the best hand there. He calls, but I'm just going to call here. He could have anything. Sometimes you beat, and sometimes you're not. 10-7. I couldn't put him in a hand. He could have two pair there. He could have absolutely what he just had as well. Alright, twos don't hold up, and that's fine. Nines are still in for the chance, actually, so I'm going to go in there. We made it to showdown. So we made it all the way to showdown. And look at that. We got the best hand. Didn't have to bluff. Just have to make it a showdown. And you never know. He might try and raise you off the hand because he's got a gut shot or open ender or something. Yeah, I think open ender. We had our own equity hands as well, but we didn't want to bet our hand off because you would have to probably fold a hand that had a lot of equity. And look, we had the best hand the whole way through. So, all right, good call. We don't have the absolute nuts there, so we've got to be a little bit careful. But we do have a strong flush, obviously. Got a call there with tens. Alright, going to continue betting. Just some of the time he's going to be good there, but... Where is he? I have no idea where he is. Anyway, we'll play catch up a little bit. I'm going to go for a 10. But if he's got ace, he's already got book. But what's the chances? Yeah, so hopefully we had the best hand there with the king high flush. I think we did. We got tens there. He slowed down. So it might be scared of the 9. He might still have an ace. He might have a lot of trash. You just don't know. Now he sees the jack. We could probably fold here. We gave ourselves the best chance to win the hand. I still think he had a weaker ace, but as soon as the jack comes out, then he bets. He just didn't want... And then we've got a bluffing hand, like a bluff catcher. If he's got a 5, he wins. If he doesn't and has an overpair, we win. Alright, top pair, top kicker. Just going to bet it. Going to fold there with ace 10. The golden tables always end up all in pre-flop. 90% of the time. I won't say all the time, but about 90% of the time. Just gonna go all in, see what he does. Yes, I'm a monster. But yeah, just wanted to try and yeah, put some pressure on his hand. If he had Ace King, maybe he's playing it. Definitely a good spot, I think, to try and get that extra value. Look at the quad fives. Look at Jacks are trying to hold on. Right, King Jack's gone. I'm going to fold Jacks. Jacks are feeling pretty tired after seeing the big boys out there. Five and twos as well. Probably accidentally folded one hand there, but it wasn't a good hand anyway, so it was fine. It wasn't a money-making hand, probably. Got a call here. Still could have a flush. Hopefully the diamond comes out. Unfortunately, we missed. And we just get out the hand. It's a shame. Right. 3-2 suited. Had a funny hand with 3-2 suited. I was at the final table in a tournament and I went all in 3-2 in the first hand. Well, actually, I raised and people called me and they didn't put me on 3-2 and the board went 3-3-2. And everyone goes, oh, yeah, that's exactly how you play it. And they just hung shit on me. Really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you win a hand as long as it wins. Yeah, so it was still going for one more, the ace 10. We're out of position too, so got to be a little bit careful. 4 sevens are 28. Yeah, so unfortunately we missed the flush there. Hit that perfect card, just get a check behind. Try and get that bet in with the set of 10s. There is 2 other players on the field. So $1.40 something. So we'll call. In position, we'll call. There you go. Just get a flat, and then hopefully the other guy comes in. Yeah, just call a cheap bet, and that's fine. Just in position, you can decide what to call and what to. 6 for 6, hopefully. Unfortunately, didn't see another spade there, but that's fine. Didn't pay much there. Got a fold 7-5. Missed it. Need a 5, actually. Get a call. It's cheap enough. I reckon the other guy folded, actually. Maybe it aces. Because normally you see the whole cash thing come up. Yeah, you see the whole cash out. So I don't know. Maybe something happened. Oh, we do have a $7 table now. So maybe that was the table. Next time that comes up, we'll check on it and see what actually happened. It was pocket 10s. Yeah, see, had ace 4. What the hell? And the other guy folded. He put all his stack in the fold on the river or on the guy's shove. So you got queens. Obviously, we can fold here because a lot of times if they got jacks or a worse hand, they'll hit with that jack. which means they don't have the worst hand anymore. Just trying to keep things low. Danced around it, didn't we, with the ace queen? Hit the river with a 9 to check behind. We can be good there some of the times. 4-2, we didn't put anything else in, so it doesn't really matter. But hopefully you can see what we're doing, and it's actually working. So just remember that. Don't 3-bet light, 3-bet with value. And use position. Don't chase out of position. Be the first one to open. Like, we're not doing anything crazy here. We're just, keep it low. We haven't hit the flush yet. Let them do all the crazy stuff, and we just keep solid. The regs will start respecting you, and then just check there behind and try and get that heart. If they make it too expensive, this is a dead board, so we can actually bet for value a lot of times. 9 cents, not much at all. Just get a call. All right, let's get a bet here as well. Let's continue the bet. Absolutely miss everything. Just get a check there. And we didn't put anything extra in. Well, not too much anyway. Nothing that will hurt our win rate too much. Then a lot of times we'll get the heart. And then we try and boost up the pot, and we win more than we lose on average, hopefully. But I guess you can fall in the trap. That's another thing too. You can fall in the trap of making a bad call, expecting to get, but we're going to get stacks in. But how likely is your card coming out, your opponent's going to go all in on your hand? So that's another thing too. How likely are they going to fall for your best hand? And maybe we don't think, maybe we think they will stack off on us, but they won't. They'll just fold and get out the way. So you're actually making the losing play for no reason. But you can definitely overthink poker as well. Just try and keep it simple. Experience is the key. Just do your best. Just check behind. Could have the best hand, but he might have 9 or something like that. Could even have a queen a lot of times. Let's call behind with 3s. If someone raises 3 bets, then if we're still priced in for set mining, we're more than happy. It's only 5 cents. We call for that. Another thing too is if your set's gonna, fill in a straight, maybe it's not worth calling it. So now he's slowed down, get a free card in the river. That's what position does. Position is the most important thing in poker. Well, actually, bankroll is probably one of the most important things. King Jack suited is probably on the weaker side of things for us, especially under the gun. So with that type of hand, we really have to be careful who we're playing against. So who decides to call along, so to speak. All right, got to isolate against the weaker player there. Going to fold there out of position. It's not a suited hand. Just going to check here, try and get some free cards. Hopefully we do get a card because the opponent there is not a strong player. Actually, the king-queen hand as well, he doesn't appear to be strong either. Alright, it's going to fold there. We didn't hit. And that's fine as well. Alright, hit the 10 on the river. We'll be good there some of the times as well. Queen Jack misses. I'm going to probably call the 5 just to see if we can hit a 9, but I'm not going to be excited about it. It's just that cheap. I mean, if you're slow playing a set, we could probably throw a bet in there and he'd fold, but our hand's good enough there to stand up in a showdown sometimes, but probably not. He's probably trying to trap. We throw a bet in, he re-raises, and we just fall for his trap where Before, we were just getting our, trying to keep things cheap. And that's what you want. You want to keep their pots low and your pots higher. Pull behind with the 8s. We're out of position. Or the 2s. Need a 7, so we're going to chase a little bit with the 8s. Even more so because... Oh. I'm going to fold there, actually, because he's not really opening with too many hands. He looked like it looked like a nit, actually, so... Probably could have called with Queen Jack. We did have top pair OK kicker, but there was a lot of clubs on the board. So we weren't afraid to, let go of the hand, I guess, when it was cheap. You could go either way there and call. We got aces. Three bet. Could check. We could fold out of position. I think it's been a good session so far. It's called behind. We could probably talk a lot of nonsense. Nines could be good. We're just going to bet there. If we get a jack, I'm happy. But do we have reverse implied odds, though? That's the problem. Because if a jack comes out, he could have king, queen, maybe. Ace king, which we're happy to enter the pot with. Trying to steal a few blinds there. It's 8 suited. People love the emotes on this thing. They like the boxing one. Blowing the smoke in your face sort of thing. I have plenty of emotes for people that are tilting. And it's pretty cool. Ace king. Jack's going to continue. Just checking behind. I was happy to throw a bet in there, but, could have probably thrown a light bet in there. But we still win the hand. We didn't do anything crazy, but still win the hand anyway. Maybe lost a little bit of a bit of value there with the jacks. So you just got to remember those little spots and just slowly improve. Get those little value bets in. Ace queen offsuit. Ace king. Queen 5. Alright, we're just gonna go all in here. The stack pot ratio is good here compared to him, but the other guy could easily shove over the top and then we're in a bad situation. I did it before looking at the other guy at the top. I was judging it towards the short stack. Hopefully they don't put us in a bad spot. But yeah, I think we're never folding there now. I said that last time and I got in that spot and I had to fold. But there's certain spots you shouldn't fold. And I think that might be one of them. So many hearts, that ace suited hand. Oh, you're serious, right? Either the 3 or a heart. Got neither. It's really really annoying, that one. Time goes fast too when you're trying to concentrate, trying to make sure you're trying to keep disciplined as well, because you just know that it doesn't take long. We probably called there if we got another 3, but luckily we didn't. Sometimes tricks with an ace kick is always nice. Could have called behind with ace king. Hopefully it's got like an ace queen or an ace jack. and hopefully overfees the hand. Sometimes ace king can be a bit of a trappy hand. You trap your opponents. Get a call there, trying to spike a 4. I'm going to fold. He could be doing it with jacks, 10s. Usually people that whiff or that miss don't hit their they don't hit their cards. We probably tend to not fire another turn bet, and then you can actually get them off the hand. 7's just going to bet there and let go if they get called. 6s are excited. 6-5 just missed, unfortunately. We knew what we were doing. It was a bit of a disguised hand if we hit straight. 7 cents, going to call one more. Going to call here, hoping the board pairs up. Hopefully it goes 2. The board pairs up. This is what we wanted. So got to check to him. He's going to raise. Do we jam in? I don't know if he's going to raise actually, but we'll find out. Hopefully he does. If it goes to the river with the jack, with that jack, jack hand. Okay, good. All right, so just call there, and then we'll shove the river. Make him think about it. Put him in a tough spot. Yeah, he just folds there, and it's fine. I think he's going to check behind most of the time anyway if we don't bet. Some will say, oh, you're betting too high. Maybe not. Maybe we're betting the right because sometimes we will get called with ace jack. So those type of hands we'll call. But yeah, I think it was well played, but obviously maybe you could probably get one more bet out of him. All right, got a fold there. Bit of a tight fold. Bet there. Oh, got pocket queens. King unsuited. All right. Holding that. I got a 3-bet king queen suited. Yeah, so got a couple tables going pretty well. Also, we're still at 37, so that's really good. Gonna check there. We've got second pair. This guy jumps in actually. It's a bit rude. It's gonna fold out the way. He's a 4-better. So people's 4-betting ranges will be a bit tighter. Gonna call there. Hopefully get another king. Okay, I said the ace, but look, it was only 39 cents, so we're lucky to put even 20 cents there. Gonna bet there. Could be good a lot of the times with the ace king of hearts. Get that value in. And then hopefully he goes check to us, so we get the free river. So he got 3s, got 6s. The call here. Just gonna bet 3s. Just gonna check there with the ace king. We are out of position, but there's a club there. So I'm gonna call. Cheap enough there for 6s. He could be valuing himself as well. Got the second hand there. Now he's attacking. We just get out of the way, and that's fine. We didn't really put too much in. And a lot of the times we're going to have, it's only 1 out of 3 times you hit an ace or a king on the flop. So don't expect to win it every time. Just don't put too much extra in the pot if you've missed on the flop, because it can get quite expensive. But just remember those spots as well, because when people think you're checking when you've missed, sometimes you could have your aces and kings and trap your opponents with their jacks and 10s and queens, because they think you've got no hand. and they turn up. You turn up with a better hand, obviously. Yeah, still fighting to 3 bets quite regularly. But unless we've really got, as long as we've got post flop play, we will call. 4 cents, I'm going to call. Just seems to not go anywhere. King Jack. So he's actually, look at that. You're thinking, oh, he's just got a weak ace, but they're just betting so small, hoping you fold. And a lot of times people will fold. So they're just being very careful. Got an open end of a king queen, but we don't bet it because we don't want to get. You don't want to bet and then get raised on, and you think, oh yeah, it's fine. But open enders look pretty, but they're not as good as what you think they are. They'd miss a lot of the time. Alright, so now we got top pair, but we're still at the open ender. Pocket fives get to the river. Hit that straight. Does someone go over the top? There was a hand last session where they did this with ace king. So I actually have to fold. Oh no, where is it? Damn it, I didn't know where it was, but I'm pretty sure that was a good laydown. Very tight laydown. We'll never know. Very tight laydown though. Alright guys, I've got to finish these hands and then we'll see how much we made. We started with 74. Let's check behind with the 7. See if we can spike a queen. Jack, I think it was. Accidentally folded that one. Check folded. Get a call there. Hopefully the jacks are still in. Okay, jacks are still in. That's fine. I should have actually bet there. Alright, gonna bet with the set ace7 again. We can call there. He's got the queen that time, but it was only a small bet, and that's fine. The other hand we won. Alright, so let's close it down, have a look. So we're at 74 last time. I think that was a good session, this one. Alright, so we're at 76 now, but we're going to get rake back as well, which is a good thing. So yeah. Also, we're going to get some, hopefully we're due for some C dollars. What I was looking at is the history. Not the C history. No, not this one. There was another history. Not balance. Rewards. There wasn't a reward. We got the leaderboard. It's just started again, I think. Yes, it's gonna be $2 and $1. I thought it was. Oh, it must be 7.45. I thought it was 6.45, maybe. But we've played a few there. There was another one. There was a. Where was it? There should be. Oh, what's no. Anyway, what it says is, it just says how often we've done we've done 3 or 4 C-dollar tournaments and we got it through, so we end up getting that. But it doesn't. I always thought obviously the higher the chips you get from the bad beats and all that. There was one stage where we got heaps chips and we still only finished straight away. We didn't actually win anything from when we had the most chips to that tournament. We accumulate from the bad beats and your big pot hands, and you get those extra chips for those daily flip out tournaments. But the ones that we do cash in is usually when we're just medium to small chip stacks, so not even that much. So I think we've had, so The most we've won in one of those was like 89. So that was heaps. That was heaps compared, like in the micro race. How often are you going to make, $90 in a day? It's crazy. So you try and grind it a little bit. Now we've got the promo, got the killer whale today. Check my rewards. At the moment, so we're still sitting at about just under $1 expected reward, but that's going to be, I think, expires Monday, 29th. Oh, 29th. Oh no, expires Monday. Oh, on the 4th. I've lost it. Paid too much poker already. But yeah, no. So every Monday we're gonna accumulate this. It's gonna be on the low end now because we just cashed in, um, roughly almost our 6,000 FP before, which was like $15. So that was all right. Probably could have waited and risked doing the spin, but we didn't. But yeah, we went this way. Anyway, guys, better go. Take care, guys.